How is Bureau of Labor Statistics data collected, and why is Trump targeting it? Explained. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, has recently found itself at the center of a heated debate, particularly after President Trump directed the dismissal of its commissioner, Erika McEntarfer. This action followed the release of a federal jobs report that painted a less-than-optimistic picture of the economy, revealing that the job market was not as robust as previously thought. The revived figures indicated a significant downward adjustment, showing that the number of jobs created in May and June was actually 250,000 lower than earlier estimates. This high-profile termination has raised questions about the integrity of the data produced by the BLS, an agency that has long been relied upon to provide critical insights into the economy. The BLS, which operates under the Department of Labor, is responsible for gathering and analyzing a wide array of data related to the labor market and consumer prices. Its reports are essential for government officials and businesses alike, guiding economic decisions and strategies. So, what exactly is the process behind the data collection at the BLS, and what implications does this recent controversy have for the future? Why did Trump fire the BLS commissioner? Trump's decision to remove McEntarfer came after the release of a disappointing jobs report that contradicted expectations. He accused her, a Biden appointee, of overseeing what he termed faked job numbers, alleging without evidence that the data had been manipulated for political gain in both the previous and current years. McEntarfer, who was appointed in 2024 and confirmed by a bipartisan Senate vote, defended the BLS's work in an email to her staff, emphasizing the agency's role in producing timely and accurate economic data that influences market behavior. How is BLS's data collected and used? The BLS employs a variety of methods to collect and analyze data on numerous economic factors, including wages, productivity, labor force participation, and consumer prices. Much of this information is gathered through surveys conducted with businesses and households, often in collaboration with the Census Bureau. For instance, the monthly payroll data is sourced from a survey of businesses and government entities, while unemployment figures come from a population survey carried out with the census. Economists and statisticians meticulously review the data for accuracy, identifying trends and analyzing the results. This information is crucial for government agencies and businesses, as it helps them understand economic behaviors, make informed investment choices, and plan for future growth or contraction. How accurate is the labor data collected for job reports? According to Catherine Abraham, an economics professor at the University of Maryland and former BLS commissioner, the data produced by the BLS is regarded as the most reliable indicator of labor market conditions. While she acknowledges that there can be fluctuations in the data, she asserts that it remains the best information available. Other organizations may also analyze labor market data, but the BLS's extensive reach and credibility, bolstered by its connections with the Census Bureau, enhance the reliability of its findings. However, some economists express concern that the recent upheaval within the BLS could deter individuals from participating in surveys. Even prior to the recent events, there were worries among policymakers that collecting and analyzing government economic data was becoming increasingly challenging due to budget constraints and declining response rates. Why are job reports revised? Revisions to job reports are not uncommon, and the recent adjustments to the May and June figures illustrate this point. Initial job reports often rely on data from larger businesses that respond quickly, while information from smaller businesses, which may be more vulnerable to economic fluctuations, is typically received later. As more comprehensive data becomes available, the initial numbers are revised to reflect a more accurate picture of the labor market. Trump has previously criticized downward revisions, claiming they were not merely adjustments, but rather deceptive practices. For example, last August, the BLS reported a significant downward revision of 818,000 jobs created over the previous year, marking the largest annual adjustment in 15 years. This adjustment is part of a standard procedure where the Labor Department updates its monthly payroll estimates using more detailed state unemployment tax records. Why are some concerned over the commissioner's firing? The dismissal of McEntarfer has drawn criticism from former BLS leaders, who argue that the commissioner does not directly produce job numbers and does not see them until they are finalized by career staff. William Beach, a former commissioner, stated that the commissioner lacks the ability to alter reported data under the current system, likening Trump's claims to saying the moon is just 5 miles away, misleading and inaccurate. While it is theoretically possible for BLS leadership to introduce political bias into the presentation of data or manipulate the timing of data releases, experts believe that such actions would likely be detected. Abraham points out that while someone could attempt to change the calculation methods to achieve a desired outcome, it would be challenging to determine which changes would yield the intended results. However, Abraham expresses greater concern that the firing could undermine public trust in BLS data. If the agency's credibility is called into question, fewer businesses and households may choose to respond to the voluntary surveys that are essential for data collection. This decline in participation could lead to less accurate data, which in turn would affect policy decisions and result in larger revisions in the future. If people start to believe that the data is manipulated, they might think, "Why should I bother responding?" Abraham warns, this situation raises important questions about the future of economic data collection and the potential impact on policymaking. What are your thoughts on the integrity of economic data? Do you believe political influences can compromise the accuracy of such reports? Share your opinions in the comments. Fact check. Trump's claims about rigged jobless numbers explained. Fact check. Examining Trump's allegations of manipulated job numbers. In the wake of the Bureau of Labor Statistics (BLS) releasing its monthly jobs report last Friday, President Donald Trump has made a series of assertions claiming that the August report was rigged to portray a less favorable economic picture for Republicans. This claim raises eyebrows and invites scrutiny. On August 1st, Trump took to social media to express his discontent with the BLS's announcement that only 73,000 jobs were added in July, a figure that fell short of economists' expectations. He also criticized the significant downward revisions of job numbers for May and June, which collectively indicated a loss of 258,000 jobs compared to earlier reports. Following these events, Trump dismissed Dr. Erika McEntarfer, the BLS commissioner appointed by former President Joe Biden, who oversaw the latest jobs report. Trump unfoundedly accused her of manipulating the data for political gain. Notably, McEntarfer had received bipartisan Senate confirmation in 2024 with a vote of 86-8. Since then, Trump has repeatedly alleged, without providing any evidence, that McEntarfer faked employment statistics leading up to the 2024 election to bolster the chances of Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. In various social media posts and statements to the press, Trump has made unverified claims regarding the BLS's methodology for compiling and adjusting job reports, suggesting that McEntarfer's actions were politically motivated to favor Democrats and undermine Republicans. Additionally, he has made several inaccurate assertions about specific BLS records. Fact-checking Trump's claims. Claimed job report revisions were timed before the 2024 election. Trump stated, "In my opinion, today's jobs numbers were rigged to make the Republicans and me look bad. Just like when they had 3 great days around the 2024 presidential election, and then those numbers were taken away on November 15th, 2024, right after the election, when the jobs numbers were massively revised downward, correcting over 818,000 jobs. A total scam. Jerome Too Late Powell is no better. But the good news is, our country is doing great." However, Trump's assertion regarding the timing of the 2024 jobs report revision is inaccurate. The BLS published a report on August 21, 2024, revealing that the economy had actually added 818,000 fewer jobs than previously reported over the past year. This was a starkly negative indicator of the economic situation under the Biden-Harris administration. Months later, in February 2025, the BLS revised those figures again, adjusting the 818,000 jobs down to 589,000. This information would have been more beneficial to the Harris campaign prior to the election, not afterward. By that time, the election had concluded and Trump was already in office. Thus, the reality contradicts Trump's claims. Recent revisions were record-setting. Trump also asserted that there were record-setting revisions to the job numbers from both the latest report and the previous year, just ahead of the 2024 election. While the jobs report released on Friday did include substantial revisions for May and June, these adjustments were not unprecedented. According to economists at Goldman Sachs, the 2-month revision was the largest since 1968, excluding periods of recession, and the current economic data does not indicate a recession. Furthermore, Trump claimed that after his election victory in November, McEntarfer readjusted the numbers downward of almost 1 million jobs, stating she had the biggest miscalculations in over 50 years. This assertion is misleading. In fact, a benchmark revision of 902,000 jobs occurred in 2009, which was larger than the revisions made in August 2024. This significant revision took place just 15 years ago, not over half a century ago. Trump also claimed that McEntarfer lifted the numbers for jobs to an all-time high before the election. This statement is incorrect for 2 reasons. 1. The BLS reported that total employment was essentially unchanged in the month leading up to the election, as indicated in a report published on November 1, 2024. 2. The highest recorded number of jobs occurred in April 2000, which was 25 years ago. Understanding the U.S. jobs report, revisions are standard practice. It's crucial to recognize that revisions to job numbers are a routine aspect of the reporting process. The BLS, a nonpartisan agency, gathers extensive employment and price data. Each month, they release the Employment Situation Summary, commonly referred to as the U.S. Jobs Report. This report typically revises the job totals for the previous 2 months, as the BLS continues to collect payroll data that is reported over time. The initial figures are merely preliminary. Revisions also occur due to seasonal adjustments, and the data undergoes multiple revisions. In the 2 months following the initial report, a preliminary annual revision in August, and a final annual revision in February. Expert opinion: data manipulation is not feasible. William Beach, the former commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who was appointed by Trump and led the agency during his first term, has publicly refuted Trump's claims of data manipulation. Beach explained to ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang that it is impossible for a BLS commissioner to alter the data. He stated, "The commissioner does not even see the numbers until they are finalized and ready for distribution. The commissioner is briefed on Wednesday afternoon before the Friday release, and that is the first time they see those numbers." He also dismissed the idea that the recent revisions to the May and June jobs reports were politically motivated, confirming that such revisions are a normal and expected part of the reporting process as more survey data becomes available. "I've never seen a situation where we don't have revisions," Beach remarked. These are significant revisions because we are likely at a turning point in the economy. What are your thoughts? As we navigate through these complex discussions about job numbers and economic indicators, it's essential to critically evaluate the claims made by public figures. Do you believe that the job numbers are being manipulated for political gain? Or do you think that revisions are a standard part of economic reporting? Share your thoughts in the comments below.